years, Donald Trump has not released his tax returns to the public. The last president to do that was Richard Nixon. Despite overwhelming public support and the precedent set by every president for the last 40 years, Donald Trump has decided to kick above this. We cannot allow a man we know so little about to be left unchecked in power. In less than 100 days, he has almost single-handedly thrown this country into turmoil.
Almost.
For every one of his horrendous acts targeting a specific group of people, or uprooting people's lives, or destroying our environment, we must be there and be vigilant in defending it. We must be there to oppose it. We do not have the luxury of standing idly by anymore. There are dozens of activists and different organizers here, myself included, at this rally today, who would help you get involved. If you're not already involved, I ask you to please contact one of us and find a way to be involved. There are plenty of different ways to do so. And without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce Congressman Bill Foster.
Wow, thank you all. You know, it has been the work of centuries to establish the rule of law in this country, to establish the trust in our institutions and in those who occupy those institutions. And it is crucial to maintain that trust, that there is transparency, and that there is truth. There are different kinds of lies. Sometimes someone will say something that they don't know the exact details of, and what they say will be not quite true. Sometimes there's a class of lie when you say something as fact, whereas in fact you have no idea whether or not it's true. And then there is a class of lies where you promise something that you have no intention of doing. Last fall, in the run-up to the election, then candidate Donald Trump repeatedly promised the American public to release his tax returns. And when he did not, that represents a broken promise and a lie. Now, because, as was mentioned, for the last 40 years, all presidents and all presidential candidates have released their tax returns, there is currently not a law that says that that must be done. There is a legislation pending in Congress that, by the way, I have signed on to. And that, by the way, Naperville's 2 other representatives in Congress have not signed on to. And that legislation will make it the law of the land that all future presidential candidates release this crucial information. And I'm not sure how many of you have been paying attention, but there have been multiple votes in the United States Congress in the last 2 months as to whether or not the U.S. Congress should do what it has done before, which is to have the Joint Tax Committee demand access to the president's tax returns. And when those votes came up, I was proud to vote yes, and I was disturbed to see Naperville's 2 other members of Congress vote no. But this should not be a partisan issue. Over 75% of all Americans think that Donald Trump should release his tax returns. Including a big majority of Republicans. And including some brave members on the Republican side of the aisle in the U.S. Congress. So this is important. You know, the founders of our country set up something called the Emoluments Clause. This is an important provision that pretty much guarantees that whoever's running our country should not be in the pay of foreign interests. And the most direct way to find out whether or not that's the case is to see the president's tax returns.
Release your taxes! Release your taxes! Release your taxes! Release your taxes! Release your taxes!
Thank you all. And I have to say how blown away I am at the level of enthusiasm. You know, this is not a small issue. It is one of many dragons we have to fight with the incoming administration. But there is no more important thing to be done than to make sure that your voices are heard, and that eventually Congress does the right thing and gets access to those tax returns. So thank you.
$29. How about Mr. Trump? This has been an incredible journey since all this. If anything we can say that's good about everything that's happened is that we are energized, we are engaged. We're not going to sit back and just watch everything happen. And the beauty of all of this is that independents, Republicans, Democrats can agree on this topic especially. He needs to raise his taxes. But I love the way that everyone is exercising their civil rights to protest, to contact their representatives, run for political office, organize like this today. And I hope that's it for the science market. However, no excuses for him not releasing his taxes. What is he hiding? You know? What ties do he have to foreign governments? Did he not pay any taxes? There's so much of what we can question. But I know it was mentioned about Richard Nixon was the first president who released his taxes. I have a quote from our lovely past president. So in 1973, while under audit and amid a controversy over his personal taxes, he released his taxes dating back to when he took office in 1969. This led to his famous quote, "People have got to know whether or not their president is a crook." Well, I'm not a crook, and we know what happened with all of that, right?
Lock him up! Lock him up!
But with over 180 marches today in over 5 countries, in addition to the United States, we know what democracy is. And I want to tell you, there's one question I'm going to ask all of you, and I think you know the answer. What does democracy look like?
This is what democracy looks like!
What